Hi guys, today I'm going to do a presentation on Twitter sentiment analysis. For my presentation, I'm going to use Jupyter Notebooks and Python, which is version 3. This is going to be for educational purposes. Mainly, we're doing this to satisfy the requirements of my big data analytics um, course on the master's level. So, without further ado, I'm going to present this and show you how we as a team, as group number 11, have managed to come up with this simple but interactive project where you can do some Twitter sentiments and you group them by sentiments, where you say you've got people who, or you've got comments which are negative and comments which are positive and those which are neutral. So this is basically what this project is going to do. So for the purposes of this discussion, when you're starting, you need to import libraries. When you're importing libraries, you have to make sure that you've imported everything that's in this list. You might find that sometimes you might have variations with the versions of these libraries that you import. So basically, you need to just check if you have an error, and you might also need to install this one, text blob, or rather starting from CloudWord, you need to install text blob and you need to install TwePy. This is because when you're running Python, it doesn't come with these at the moment. It doesn't come with these libraries out of the box. So you would need to do a pip install and you install such libraries. So these are the libraries that you need to install, and then when you run it, your code might take some time depending on the machine that you have and the quality of the internet that you have. But basically, for me, it took roughly about a minute or so because my machine is running other things in the background on another workstation. So that's it. So if after you've imported this TwePy, text blob is the one which will allow you to do the word cloud, which will do the text generation rather, and then the word cloud will create a word cloud for you. Then pandas is also another library that comes pre-installed, so you may not necessarily need to download and install it. But if you don't have it, then you need to do a pip install again. NumPy is also another library for numbers. The pandas is for data analytics. Then NumPy is for numbers in Python. Then you have this other import for the library which is called RE, and then you need to do Matploit library also. You need to import it. Usually it comes pre-installed, but if you don't have it as well, I would recommend you to download and install using the best way that you feel could be best for you. So after importing all these things, you need to go and get the keys from API. So if you see this line, I had created the one that I was taking stuff from a CSV file. But in this tutorial, I've decided to, instead of taking from a CSV file that I've collected already, why can't I just show you how to do it directly from Twitter itself? So what you need, oh, by the way, before we go in further, I need to give a shout out to these guys from Towards Data Science website. They've been so helpful with the material that's on that website. So if you need to do anything about data science, that can be your website to call. Thank you so much, guys, at Towards Data Science. Continuing from there, here's what you need. So firstly, you need to apply for a consumer, for a development account, for a developer account from Twitter. So you can go on Twitter and then you can apply for that. This is not this is not the purpose of this discussion, so we'll not dwell much on that. But after you have successfully been accepted by Twitter, they'll give you what they call a consumer key and a consumer secret key, which are more like your keys to consume data. And then you also need some access token and the access token secret. So these are basically called the APIs, which allows your system from your local machine to access certain data from Twitter servers. So obviously a key would look something more than this. I had to put some characters so that I can hide my key. But when you also do an application, you get a certain key that you can use, and then you will use it for your application as well. So this is what we have on this line 2. So you need to run it. I've already run it. That's why you see here we have a 2. That was the second thing that I've ran. So you need to take a look at it and run it. In this case, I will not run it again because it's already cached in the memory. So that's what you have on that second part. And then thirdly, you need to do the authentication. You need to create the authentication and map whatever that you have to the token keys and everything to the keys that you've already have. So like in this case, for the authentication, we're using the consumer key and consumer secret for OAuth. And then for authentication, for access rather, so this one was for authentication, which was using this key. And then now for access, you'll be using this script, which is here. And then after you've managed to get this successfully, you need to do an API mapping, which will bind them together, and then you'll be good to go. So in this case, we want to extract tweets from okay, so we need to run this program before we go further. Okay, so you see it has run successfully. So what you need to do is that we need to extract tweets. In this case, let's do 200, for example. So let me just rewrite here to say we are now using 200, and then the count here is 200 tweets from the minister in Zimbabwe. So we need to analyze her tweets and see the sentiments that they have brought, whether they are positive, negative, or I don't know, neutral. So let's just try and collect those tweets that she has made. So here you'll be using the screen name. Screen name is more like the handle that she uses, the @ so it's at Kirsty Coventry for this one. The reason why I've chosen Kirsty Coventry basically is that in my country, the native language that we have many languages rather, and English is one of those languages that are official. So it becomes easier for my application to analyze things that are written in English. As you can see here, the language I've specified is supposed to be English. If I use my own language, there are variables where somebody mixes English and Shona, or English and Ndebele, or English and another language. So the best thing that I could do was to actually make it in English, and I've looked for someone whom I believe tweets in English. So for the sake of this, we need to run Kirsty Coventry's tweets using a count of 200 and see how far it will take us. So when I click here, it will take some time because currently it's collecting everything. Previously I had done the ones by Joe Biden, so now I'm doing the ones by Kirsty Coventry. The reason why I'm choosing this is the one that I've explained. So as you can see here, we've done everything. We've collected the tweets from Kirsty Coventry, and now we just need to show 5 of that. So unfortunately, she's also tweeted on Inshona like Makoro Koto Shasha, so which means actually congratulations. So yeah, these are the tweets from the minister, and by just a click of a button, we've managed to get all the tweets she has tweeted. By the way, again, I repeat, this is only for educational purposes. It's only for educational purposes. No harm is needed. It's being done. No propaganda, no anything. I've just chosen someone out of the blue. I could have used myself, but I'm not much of a Twitter person, so you can't get even up to 5 comments from me. So that's it. So these are these are the top 5 or the last 5 that she has tweeted. So now from there, we need to just do a data transformation where we need to capture everything and put it in a file called a DF, which DF stands for data frame. Sorry, yeah. So basically, this is what we have, and then we need to run this application, and then as you can see, it gives you those tweets again, but this time in a .head form, which would take the first 5 as well. So this is what we have. So a good practice for every data scientist out there, they really know that there's what we call ETL when we are doing some data when you're doing data science. So what we need to what we do is that the E stands for extraction, and then the T stands for transformation, and then L is for load. So at first I was extracting data from Twitter using those API keys and everything. After successfully extracting data, to see that we have data, I just had to output these first five tweets, and then with these first 5 tweets that we have, in a total of 200 tweets, potentially, we are going to clean the data so that we remove all unnecessary information, like the retweets and all those other symbols that may not necessarily help us to see a correct view or a correct data load. So we are transforming this and clean it. So I have clicked that one, and after cleaning it, this is what we have. So we've successfully managed to get about 200 tweets from here, which is actually a good thing. In other accounts, you'd see that you've queried for 200 tweets, but then you can get like 5 tweets, 3 tweets. Not sometimes you won't even get anything. So yeah, in this case, we've managed to get actually something along those lines, and we've done all we could for now. We've removed those symbols, like in this case, you see we had which were dimensions for other people, but in this case we're now removing dimensions so that we can do our sentiments by using the words, the actual words, rather than those other special characters that will hinder the project for us. So in this case, we are now trying to check the subjectivity. So we'll create a function. We've created 2 functions that will do the first one will do subjectivity grouping, and then the other one would do the grouping by polarity. So this is personally, this is rather just checking on the personal opinions, emotions, and judgments. So that's subjectivity, saying how subjective was she when she was doing this. Then polarity. Basically, by polarity, we're talking of a float, which is a range that lies between -1 and 1. So when we have a positive number, which is 1, it means we have a positive tweet. And then when you have a negative number, that would also mean we got a negative tweet. So obviously, if we have something that is not 1 or -1, that definitely means it's going to be treated as a neutral. So let's try and run this query and see how far it will get us. So by using this subjectivity test, you can see that we've now managed to group our tweets according to subjectivity and polarity, and we've given them different scores based on whatever they're giving out. So also we go a step further to see the most popular words. So that's where the word cloud now comes. We want to see that in most of the tweets, what was the most popular word that was used. So in this case, we do a plot using pyplot and word cloud, and see if we'll be able to generate the most used words. So in this case, the most used word was Zimbabwe. As you can see from this, that's the most visible word. And then we also have the word thank, and we have will and youth. I guess we really have to see this word youth, because she's a minister who does a lot of things that helps the youth as well. So yeah, according to the sentiments, or rather according to this analysis that we've done, we can safely see that we've got something that is youth related, which is actually a good thing, or rather which is actually something. And then now we need to group our items. We need to do a negativity, so we are now checking. So remember, we've been using 0 to say if something is greater than 0. If something is less than 0, rather, it's negative. It's a negative comment. And then if something is obviously a 0, it has to be neutral, and then anything that is positive, it's supposed to be positive. So we just run this to do an analysis, and already we can see that we are grouping our sentiments according to their groupings, like positive, neutral, negative. I hope you get something which is negative, because from what I'm seeing right now, we've got positive and neutral. So yeah, well, sometimes you find people who are great, who just talks positive things, and that will be actually good. And then you can find other people who are diverse. So like with other politicians that have done, you can see that you find negative and positive. So with this one, let's just hope we'll be able to demonstrate the negativity as well. So just for demonstration. So in this case, we'll now come and print all the positive tweets. So by positive, you can see that this application will look for great words, or rather words that really shows that someone was praising. So like in this case, you can see this tweet, for example, Makorokoto raising our flag, which means you've done good and you're actually doing something which is great. So this is why it has been grouped as a positive tweet. And also you can see something that about focus about focusing on positive things, which is actually a good thing as well. And then on the Africa Day, she tweeted something about Africa Day, which was actually a good sentiment. So this is why we are seeing this great sentiments that have been grouped here. Now we need to see if she has tweeted anything that's negative, and according to this Twitter, using the keywords, you can see that there are some sentiments that may be viewed as negative. What makes a sentiment negative is that when it contains some words which are kind of negation. So like words like nothing, in this case, I am sure it has been read by our model as a negative word. You can see words like give up, phrases like give up have also been seen as a negative phrase. So, and then about sorry, it's a negative situation. So rather, in as much as these sentiments are trying to encourage someone, but on their own, they are looking like they're coming from a negative point of view, where you're saying, no, don't give up, trust me. You're trying to tell someone, to cheer up someone. And then about this one, maintenance is a must. In the past, nothing has been maintained. Changes here. So it's someone who's actually looking at something negative, and and that person is saying we need a change. So that's why some of these tweets are being viewed as negative sentiments. So that's what we can talk about, negative sentiments. So we can also do a plot to see the distribution of our plots. I mean, of our sentiments. So when we click here, we'll let the system draw for us the sentiments and group them according to subjectivity and polarity. So as you can see, it's almost it's almost a tie on the, or rather this is the zero line. So we can see that we can expect that our results will have more positives than negatives, and obviously on the neutral line we've got other sentiments as well. So when you're looking at this cluster, or rather this distribution graph, you can tell that we should expect a lot of positives and some kind of negatives. So in this case, now we just need to see the percentage of our positive tweets. Like we said, we expected something which is on the higher side. So obviously we've got 53.5% of positive tweets from her, and then we've got 7.5% tweets which have been deemed to be negative. So we could have also done the ones that are neutral, but for the sake of this, let's just continue, and we will see them in this graph. So this graph was a previous from the previous test that I've done. So now in this case, let's try again and see what we can have. We'll let the system draw. So from what we can see, we've got a lot of positives, and then we've got a percentage of or rather the amount. This is being grouped by amounts. So we've got more than hundreds of tweets which were positive, and then we've got around 80 or so, let's say 70 something, which were neutral, and then slightly below 20 of sentiments which were negative. So obviously, as you can see, this is in sync with what we found here on top. About slightly above 100 being 53% and slightly below 20 being 7.5%. So obviously the remainder was the one which was signifying the neutral sentiments. So in this case, this is what you can expect. So I hope this has been informative, and I would like to thank you for viewing this. But also I've done a different one just to point out that you can also do a sentiment analysis that is actually the way you can actually do your that is actually interactive, where you don't have to find a hard-coded code, but rather you have to put your values directly. So in this case, we've imported the libraries. So in this, you might get an error when you reach to this point, which involve further. So what I did was to import this, and then I've downloaded this so that we will tie this sub part of NLTK. So after doing this, I've managed to run this. So yep, that's all for this, and I'm trying to find a way to go ahead without doing this on recording. Probably I'll do this on the next video. Just tune in for the next video that's coming very quickly. So let me just pause this.